Good afternoon, students. Last lecture we all had already discussed about parasitic adaptation. So we have learned that parasitic adaptations are the changes which makes or which supports the parasite to stay into the host environment. But last lecture we all had discussed about the ectoparasite. Student, we all know that the ectoparasites are the parasites which stay on the body of the host. Means they may come in contact for a shorter period of time, like mosquitoes, or they may stay for a longer period of time, like we had talked about the head louse. So depends. They do not require to change into the environment. But when we talk about the endoparasite, they are obligate parasite. Now we have learned the types of parasites in detail. So we know what are the obligate and what are the facultative parasites. So obligate parasites are the parasites which spend their life in the parasitic mode only, means they don't have any other option. They are obligatory uh, spending their lifespan, entire lifespan into the body of the host. So endoparasites are the parasite which stays inside the body of the host. We have learned the types of endoparasites. There are two types of endoparasite. One is the intercellular, another is the intracellular. So all endoparasites, they stay inside the body of the host. So definitely they require much more adaptation. Now, when we were talking about the ectoparasite, we have seen the simple nutritional adaptation were there, right? Then organ of attachment to stay on the body of the host was there, and the rate of reproduction. But when we talk about the endoparasite which stays inside, so they must have the various structural as well as the physiological adaptations which enables them to stay in the body of the host. Because when the animal is staying inside the body of the host, it becomes very challenging because the host body environment have the varying pH. So pH challenge is there. Not only this, they have the various metabolisms. So various metabolisms produces the various chemicals. So challenge of the pH, they have challenge of various type of chemicals they have. Not only this, the host immune system is also a big resistance. So they have to overcome the host resistance also. So to overcome all this problem, then how parasites modifies themselves, we'll study in this particular lecture. So let us begin. So endoparasite or all adaptation, we are going to learn in two heading. First, structural adaptation. Second, physiological adaptation. So first we will talk about the structural adaptation. Degeneration of organ. Whatever organs are not required, it must be degenerated. Now why do so? If it is not required, why we need to degenerate them? The reason behind that is it will help the animal to reduce its body size and make them more and more comfortable inside the body of the host. So sense organs and nervous system will not, either the organ will completely degenerate or will not show any advancement. Example, tapeworm, if you will see, so their sense organs and nervous system, they do not undergo any type of advancement as the endoparasite live into the constant environment. Their environment is not at all changed. So for that particular reason, they stay with the simple divergence of the sense organ and nervous system, because continuously they are present inside the intestine. Then digestive organ Do you think they require the so sophisticated digestive system? No. So that's why their digestive system will be very, very simple. Exceptional cases like Taenia species, Porozoans, Plasmodium, Monocytosis, Flagella, Treponomas, they will not have the digestive organ only. Why? Isn't it very surprising that the animal do not comprise of the digestive system? Yes, it's true, because they are present in the digestive tract where they are getting either semi-digested or digested food by the host. So directly that food is getting diffused through the body wall of the parasite. So when they are getting complete digested food, why do they will invest their energy? Now they are on the energy saving mode. They are staying in others' body, so they cannot invest their energy in digestion and all. Now, see students, when we were learning the respiration and circulation, you all might have observed that lots of oxygen demand is generated when we digest, and lots of oxygenated blood is first provided to the digestive system. Why? Because for digestion is a very complex process. So all this complexity, this animal cannot afford. So for that particular reason, the digestive system are completely absent. There is a loss of locomotory appendages. Locomotory appendages are the locomotory organs. In science, locomotion means movement of animal from one place to the another place, and the organ which supports the locomotion are called as the locomotory organs or locomotory appendages. Now, these locomotory appendages also they are lacking because they are staying into the single host. So why do they require so much complicated organs and all? So that is also omitted from their body, and they do not need to move from here to there in search of food. They are getting, means they are adjusting themselves in the body of the host where they are getting the constant supply of the food. So for that particular reason, they do not require any type of the movement, so they degenerates their organ. Then development of the special devices. Now this is degeneration, but to withhold the environment of the host body, because they are present inside the body of the host. So to withstand with such severe condition, they require some special type of adaptation. So such adaptation will be bring up when they will be having the special devices. I have used the term devices, but these are nothing but the special organ. So first, cuticle. If they will be bare bodied, they cannot withstand with the means severe environmental conditions. So either thick or thin cuticle is initiated in entire body of the endoparasite to withstand with the digestive juice action. Example, flatworm and roundworm, if you will observe, their body have the complete cuticle which surrounds their body. Then second adaptation is suckers and hooks. Now you will observe this sucker and hooks are very, very important, because see in animal like Taenia solium, tapeworm, liver flukes, they all stay inside the intestine where the peristaltic movement of the food is occurring. So this food movement can take them out of the digestive tract, that means from the anal canal. So to withstand there, to stay there, they need to attach themselves inside the intestine, and they must have some special devices which can make them on their required place or favorable place for the longer period. So once they have got the proper place in the intestine where they are getting the digested food for their growth, so they must hold that particular place. So to hold themselves into that particular place. They have the organs of attachment which enables them to remain attached to the organ of the body of the host. So who can sucker, you can see likewise you will find into the liver fluke also they have the suckers and the suctorial pharynx. Suctorial pharynx helps them to suck the fluid by the sucking action of the Suctorial pharynx. So this is very helpful to get whatever fluid is coming in. Then other special structures also they develop for the penetration into the host. Example, if you will see the Miracidia, so this particular form they in present or they enter into the pond snail's food. Now pond snail, that is limne, they have very hard food. So how this small insect or this small animal is entering in, so for that particular reason they have the special apical and penetrating gland. So this apical and penetration gland releases some type of the secretion. These secretions are nothing but the enzymes. Students, the term enzyme is new for you. Enzymes are the biocatalysts which speeds up the reaction. Which type of reaction? Biochemical reaction which enables the metabolic activity of any animal to enter at the faster rate. So they secrete special type of enzymes which uh, makes the entry of this animal inside the body of the host easily. Then another special structure they develop is the cyst wall formation. Now see, cuticle they have, whatever they have, but sometimes they require the extra resistance, extra outer covering. So for that particular reason, they synthesize the extra capsule, or you can say the cyst on their body. So their body remains in a protective shell for a longer time. So when they form the cyst, they do not keep any opening and they remain starved for the longer period of the time. They do not eat, and most of the time the animal produce such type of cyst at the time of the changing of the host, means from one host to another host when they are entering, so they form the cyst. So this cyst enables them to stand in a very harsh condition of the environment for the longer period of time. And as soon as they are reaching to the new host, they just unsheath their cyst and enter or start their parasitic life into the new host. So such type of cyst, this particular cyst which I am showing is of the Entamoeba histolytica. Minuta form of Entamoeba is also synthesizing protective wall around it, which forms inactive and non-feeding stage till they change the new host. Same type of cyst is also found into the six-hooked embryo hexagon when it changes into the cysticerous larva of tapeworm, which get encysted by secreting resistant wall around it. So these are the special devices. One more thing they can do is the reduced shape. They can reduce their shape, means they can become very slim, trim, so they can stay inside the body or narrow spaces. Example is the flatworm. Platyhelminths, they are dorso-ventrally flattened, and also they are acylimate, means they will not bear any extra structure. So with this simple and narrow body, they enable them to reduce shape so that they can accommodate into the narrow spaces of the host. More than that, they produce the shell on their eggs, means already eggs are there. So what they do, they encapsule whatever eggs are there along with the yolk sac. So they add this particular egg capsule I am showing is of fasciola. So they change, means when they are getting the suitable surrounding. So they break open this resistant shell and they enter into the host. So in the structural adaptation, we all have learned that that they degenerate some organs which are not required for their parasitic life. And they, second thing we have learned that they develop the special devices like cuticle, sucker and hook, suctorial pharynx, special structure for penetration in the host, cyst wall formation. So all such special devices or special structures enables the parasitic life mode of the animal, as well as enhance the chances of the survival. Reduced shape, we have learned reduced shape and shelled eggs help the animal to accommodate best way inside the body of the host, as well as to get the survival, increase the survival chances. So this is all about the structural adaptation. Let us talk about the physiological adaptation. Various physiological adaptations are there. Life processes of parasite will get adjusted to reduce the risk of the parasitic life, right? So they are also known to save energy by simplifying their life into the parasitic mode, because if they will simplify their life, so they will invest less and less energy in their lifespan. So if they will invest less energy, so this energy storage will help them to increase their number, so that energy they can utilize into the reproduction, they can utilize in increasing their size and their number. So what they do the anaerobic respiration. Now see, animal parasite, they are living into the anoxic condition like intestinal lumen or the tissues which are respirally anaerobically. So when they are staying inside the tissues or intestine, so that they are not getting the oxygen, and for getting oxygen they cannot change their position because the position is best suited for them. So for that particular reason they yield the energy. Now see, why animal need to respire to get the energy. So how do they get the energy? They yield their own energy. Now how do they yield? They derive the energy from fermentation of glycogen in turn of forming the lactic acid. So whatever chemicals they are getting in that particular part where they reside, so from that particular chemicals they change them into their suitable form, and they harvest the energy from there. So because of that they get the good tolerance. They are able to tolerate pH from 4 to the 11. Example is ascaris, tinea solium, etc. Now, high fecundity. Student, you must note down the term fecundity. The potential of an individual to reproduce number of fertilized egg is called as fecundity. I repeat, the potential of an individual to reproduce number of fertilized egg is called as fecundity. So this parasite produce more number of egg to increase the more number of animals, means their generation. So all these increase survival chances. Example, if we will talk about hookworm and cyclostoma, so they lay approximate 25 to 30,000 eggs. Can you believe, student? 35 to 30,000 eggs per day. Yes, per day 25 to 30,000 eggs. Same way, if we talk about the ascaris, which is the general worm complaints our children do, they lay approximate 15 to 20,000 eggs per day after maturity. And the see, as in last lecture I told you that animal, they cannot invest the energy in search of the partner. So in the previous case, that means in the case of the ectoparasite, I told that they are doing the reproduction by parthenogenesis, but in the case of endoparasite, most of the endoparasites are hermaphrodite. Student, do you all remember the term hermaphrodite? When I was teaching you genetics, I told you the term hermaphrodite, meaning hermaphrodite means one home for two sex. That means they have the animal. are hermaphrodite if they have the bipotential gonads. That means active gonads for the male as well as the female. Okay, so they can act as a male, they can act as a female also. And the best part about the hermaphrodism is they can undergo for self reproduction also. Means the same animal will produce egg as well as the sperm, and they themselves have capability to do the self fertilization. But if they will get the partner, they can do the cross fertilization also. So all this in facilitates the survival of the species. Example is the tapeworm. Then the next property they bears is the chemotaxis. Now see, we all know that they are very particular about the species. You will find that the intestinal parasites go to the intestine. How do they go? So they elicit more response toward the chemical changes in the surrounding or the host tissue, by virtue of which they reach to the specific body part where actually they want to stay. So with the chemical sensing, means the chemical or pH of that particular area they can sense, and the sensing of chemical is known as a chemotaxis. That means taxis means the movement towards the chemical movement. So that example is the flatworm. They elicit more response towards the intestinal pH, and they just move to that particular side. Then protective secretions, what do they do? They secrete the protective secretions. Now what are these protective secretions? These are the anti-enzymes. Anti-enzymes means if the host body is secreting the enzyme which is harmful for them, so they will secrete the anti-enzymes to nullify the effect. So what will happen? It will prevent the hydrolytic effect caused by the gastric and intestinal juices. Tapeworm enhances more and more mucus secretion. Means when if the person will get affected with the tapeworm infection, so this tapeworm will secrete a type of chemical which will enhance more mucus. Why? It is not for the better survival of the host. It is for that that they can avoid the effect of the digestive enzyme produced by the host. So this mucus will nullify or will neutralize whatever digestive juices are there, and this will help the survival of the tapeworm. Then tolerance against the host environment. This is the most and most important thing, student. Parasite stays in the isoosmotic condition with the host. So there is no difficulty into the exchange of the water. We have learned the isoosmotic, hypoosmotic, and the hyperosmotic. Isoosmotic means surround maintaining the body salt and water balance as per the surrounding. Hyperosmotic means the outer side of the body, means the medium is having the less salt as compared to the body. Hypo means the animal will have the less salt concentration. So this maintain their body condition into the isoosmotic states with the host. So if now we all have learned the diffusion, we all know that diffusion occurs. Now when we were talking about the respiration, that time I have explained the concept of the diffusion also. I told you what is diffusion. Diffusion means movement of uh, water from one, or water or any type of solute from one part to the another part. Now here what is going to be happen? The diffusion will occur easily because there is no whenever they required water, automatically the water will diffuse inside their body. Trematode schistostoma species, they produce chemical substances which suppress the host defense mechanism. Because see, when if anything is entering inside the body of the host, students, you all can watch the immunity videos. That time you will understand that how much our immune system is responsible and sincere. They do not allow anything is happening in the body, and they can't tolerate it. They try and they fight till the end to remove the anything which is outsider, or non-self. So their immune system is a very big defense system of the home. So they need to overcome or breach the barrier. So how do they do? So they suppress the host defense mechanism. In order to evade the host defense system, they cover their body with the chemical substances which shows that host them there's a self, means they just cover or they hide themselves inside the self part of the host. So they enter inside the cell. So the host immune system will not harm the cell directly, but anyhow they try to escape from the host immune system. And until and unless they will not prevent themselves from the host immune system, they cannot survive inside the host. So this is all about the physiological adaptation. Let us revise once again. In the physiological adaptation, we all have learned that the first thing about the anaerobic respiration, we have seen that they stay into the anoxic condition. So for that particular reason, they harvest the energy from the glycogen fermentation. They convert it into the lactic acid, and they get the energy from the chemical respiration most of the time. Then high fecundity. Fecundity is the potential to produce the fertilized egg. So they must have the high fecundity to increase the survival chances. Then chemotaxis is the property of the animal to enter in a specific place of the means their suitable place. So each and every parasite have like your intestinal worm will definitely try to enter into the intestine. If it is the lung worm, so definitely they will try to find the space into the lungs, like COVID virus. They want they will definitely try to enter inside the lungs. So how do they get, means they are coming from the common path. So how do they get the idea that this is the lung, this is the intestine? So they respond towards the chemical which was suitable for them to survive. Then they secrete the protective secretion, or you can say the secretion which nullifies the host immune system or the digestive juices. In that we have learned the example like Tinea sodium secretes more and more mucus secretion. So this mucus will nullify the effect of the digestive juices. And then tolerance against the host environment. So for that, either they just suppress the host defense mechanism, or they escape from the host immune system so that they can survive in a better way. So this is all about the adaptations into the parasite. In the next class, we all will discuss about the type of host. So that's it for the day. Thank you.